welcome back everybody. Exciting day today. Today's the day that the floor pan is going to go in. So what we're going to do next is we're going to spot weld in the rear torque boxes. Once we get that done, we're going to lay the floor pan in there and see what happens. So this is the rear torque boxes all spot welded in. Looks pretty. So the good news is that we got everything welded in. Torque boxes are welded in, upper and lower that we had to repair. We put in some side pieces that needed to go be stitched in. And then the great news is that we just got the floor pan set in. So we're off to the races now. So those are the torque boxes that we just put in right over there. And everything just kind of goes right around it. The second one is right here. We're gonna fill in a piece. We built a new piece for right back here, so we'll stitch that in along with the wheel well piece that's gonna go in back there. And then I have that piece made. I just have to put it in. But we're in good shape. We got a floor pan. So to get the floor pan actually in, we used a couple. We had the rotisserie there. We flipped it up on its side like you can see. We used a couple of the ratchet straps to actually pull it tight on both sides. And then Tim started spot welding it in. Took a little bit, but we got it all done. That's the wrong side. That one goes down low. All right, so working on the patch panels for the floorboard extensions. So we're gonna cut these out, make them look pretty. So this is Tim actually welding out the torque boxes underneath. We did this a little bit different than most people would do it. Most people put the torque boxes in two pieces. We did them in one piece to make sure that they were square. And the reason we did that is because we know that we're gonna fully weld out everything. That's not gonna be spot welded back together. So probably gonna get some complaints that the torque boxes are in before the frame rails, but it is what it is. That's the way we decided to do it. So deal with it. So done a lot of work kind of off camera. Number one, my GoPro stopped working, so I don't know what happened there. I finally got it fixed. But I'm just gonna kind of give you a tour around what we've done and what we still need to do. And then we'll take it from there. All right, so we got the car up on its side here. You can see that we got the floor pan in. It's been welded in and everything. If you look up front, we got the floor pan patches, the firewall extensions, that one and the one below it are in. This has all been welded up. The rocker panels have, both top and bottom. We have a little repair work to do, like we still have to fill that hole there. There's a couple holes. There's one up there that we're going to patch, and there's the same one on the opposite side. So that's all been done inside wise, so just a little bit of work left there. And then on the other side of the car here, you can see that we got the torque boxes put in. So that's a torque box there, that's a torque box right down there, and those are the firewall extensions there and there. So that's been done and all welded in. We still have to do a little bit of welding work before we can get the front end on, but that for the most part has all been finished up. It's all been welded up in here, all just stitched together. The new torque boxes on the rear. So there's a patch panel to make right there. Same one on the bottom side down there. All this is patched in and we're in good shape. We cleaned up the back end right here. For the most part, we got all the loose stuff off that we could. And what we're gonna end up doing is we'll rust encapsulate everything, and then we're going to spray undercoating on it to preserve it. And we'll give it a uniform look, so we'll do the entire car underneath that way. And then the last thing we're gonna do on all these little edge pieces up here, on the other side of the rocker and this side of the rocker on both sides, is we got some nice steel that we cut. They're 8-foot strips, 1/4 inch wide, so we'll just clip those on and it'll clean up the entire look of the car. The other thing is we do have the front end in here, and that is going to be put on in the next couple days, but probably not in this episode. We'll just show you what we got going on. Those are the pieces for the front end, and yeah, we'll take it from there. All right, guys, it's gonna be a really busy day in the shop today. We got a lot of the final patches that we're gonna put in. Tim's starting to work on that already. We got Trish out here. She's working on cleaning up some of the sway bars for the front suspension, and some other pieces there. So we'll get those cleaned up and painted up and everything, get put in. And then the plan for today is to get that front end in. So stay tuned. So what Tristan and I are doing on the bottom of the car here is we're seam sealing everything so that once we get into weather, then we're not going to flood the car. We might flood it from the top since it's a convertible, but nothing from the bottom side. So we're seam sealing everything. I'm going along with the caulk gun. Thank you, Eastwood, for the seam sealer, and then Trista's going along after that, and she's spreading it all in like caulking so that it's all uniform and sealed up, all those little cracks, so there's no bubbles. All right, so next step here, we're going to undercoat the car. Now we got it all primed everywhere, so good. So undercoating time. It's the big day. We're getting the car off the lift. You ready for this? This car's off the rotisserie. There's the other part of it. Now we just got to be careful so it doesn't fall off the lift. What we did today was we leveled out the front end, got some pieces put on that we needed to get put on, like the inner aprons, so that we could get the front end lined. And then we put the shock tower support in it because the shock towers were too close. So we had to get them all pushed out. I'll show you that in just a second. Bob's welding up the front end right now so we can get it in the air and get the last of the floor supports and underneath of the car all straightened up, and I'll show you that in just a minute. So this is the shock tower support we got in there. We got to put a bar in to get everything pushed out, to get everything square and even. And now Bob's working on this over here and getting that all welded in so then we can get the car off the ground. We got a front end on. All right, so we were able to get most everything tacked in underneath, the floor supports, the seat supports, and the transmission tunnel. We got to do a little bit of work because the floor pan's not quite right, so I'll show you what that looks like here. So that's the transmission tunnel right there, floor support here, floor support on the other side, and then there's these boxes here, this box and this box. They just give rigidity. So we had a little problem with the warping of the floor pan. So you can see there's a big gap right here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna put some clamps in there. We'll probably use some machine screws and bring it down, and then get it welded into place. So transmission tunnel doesn't quite fit in there, so we had to get creative. We got a jack in there with a 4x4, stretching everything out. As Tim likes to say, a little redneck ingenuity. So front end where we need to work is all painted flat black for the most part, except for the shock towers. Those are actually gloss black. Sorry, semi-flat black, so that they'll match the aprons when we put those in. So that's what it looks like. Hey guys, so that's kind of a wrap for this video. I totally forgot to do an outro when I was doing all this, but what we're going to do in the next video is start putting on the front suspension and everything else. So car's been undercoated and everything else. I know I kind of skipped around on some things there, but you get the idea, and I'll try to show as much as I can on the next episode. Cheers.